All right, y'all, enough is enough. Y'all gotta stop. I need y'all to stop trying to pit Loren Lorosa against Jess Hilarious and vice versa. So if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Jess Hilarious is the third member or third host of the Breakfast Club morning show, Power 105.1. And she was brought in, Jess Hilarious, Jess Hilarious was brought in after Angela Yee's departure. Angela Yee left and had her own show, Way Up with Angela Yee. So they brought in Jess Hilarious. Jess took the job and she was pregnant at the time, so she eventually went on maternity leave for some months. Jess, to replace Jess Hilarious, they brought in Loren Lorosa. Loren Lorosa was doing Jess's position. She was doing the rumor report and all of that and talking about the stories that were going on. And Loren, she did a great job during Jess Hilarious's absence. I'm not doubting that. I'm not trying to deny that at all. But when she came on to the show, every day I saw people saying that they need to get rid of Jess Hilarious and they need to hire Loren Lorosa. They don't like Jess. Loren is better for the job. Get Jess up out of there. I mean, people were campaigning for Jess to get fired while she was on maternity leave after having a baby, right? And so I'm looking like, okay, all right, y'all. Okay, calm down. But it kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going. It has continued now that Jess Hilarious has returned. Okay, now Jess Hilarious recently got sick a little bit. I lost her voice. They brought Loren Lorosa back. And I mean, it amplified. And I feel like that's tacky. That's terrible. That's distasteful. Some of y'all gonna be like, oh, Mac, you out here trying to be riding with Jess Hilarious. Nah, fam. So let me tell y'all why. Because if these girls get into it with each other and they have real beef, not everybody gonna be sitting around looking like, well, it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that serious in the first place. Well, why were y'all out here trying to vie for this girl to get her job taken from her? Like, I know it has to feel bad for Jess Hilarious to get on the radio every day and probably watching the Breakfast Club and to see those comments, people campaigning for her to get fired and replaced by Loren Lorosa. You feel me? And this is the same. And I'm seeing black folks who always talk about how we shouldn't put black people against each other. We shouldn't be pitting them against each other. The same black folks doing this. You feel me? And I feel like that's terrible. That's terrible. One reason, just hilarious. And I know she's a comedian. So some of y'all should say, y'all gonna say, well, she should be able to take these jokes. I gotta remind y'all, the woman just had a baby. Now, for those who don't know, women go through postpartum, all different emotions and feelings after giving birth. I've seen it. I have 2 children, okay? And I've seen women go through these different changes. My son's mother went through a lot of different changes after having my son. You know what I mean? A lot of things were different, with her and all type of stuff. And things that I didn't even understand that I understand now, right? So if Jess is fresh off of having his baby, her hormones are all over the place, y'all in there trying to get her fired every single day, you don't know what's going through her mind. How's she feeling about that? You don't know how she's internalizing that. You feel me? And God forbid, knock on wood, something happened. Then everybody looking like, oh man, we didn't mean it like that. We didn't mean it like that. Then also on the other hand, Loren Lorosa, I'm sure Loren ain't got no beef with Jess. And she likes that y'all praise her job and the job that she's doing, that she's done when she replaced Jess for that time. But I'm sure she also feels uncomfortable with y'all wanting to campaign for her to take Jess Hilarious's job. Like, I wouldn't like somebody campaigning for me to take somebody's job. If you want me to be a part of the Breakfast Club as a 4th member, that's cool. But to take somebody's job, fam, like, no. I wouldn't want nobody doing that for me. And the reason why people are campaigning for Loren LaRosa to have the job is that Loren digs deeper. During these stories, during the rumor report, she reaches out to sources, and it's probably because she has a journalistic background. Jess Hilarious does not have a journalistic background. She is a comedian. She's a social media personality slash influencer, and the Breakfast Club knew that before they hired her. They knew she was not a journalist. Jess reads the report, she reads everything, and she does it with in an engaging way. She does it in an entertaining way because her job is to be engaging and entertaining. Okay, she's not there to really be a journalist and have a journalistic. She's not working for MSNBC or CNN, so they're not looking for her. And she don't have a journalistic background. She's a comedian. So she gonna read the report and make sure she got the facts of the report, but she ain't gonna dive deeper and all of that because she hasn't been trained to do that. You feel me? So that and the Breakfast Club knew that when they brought her in. So to act like she's not doing her job, that's false. Because I don't really remember. I've been watching the Breakfast Club since 2012, since like January of 2012, since my second semester of college at Mississippi Valley State University, right? And I don't remember Angela Yee doing all these deep dives and deep digs. It's sometimes she has some sources, but she don't got as many sources on her stories, and she didn't dig as deep as Loren Lorosa. You feel me? So, like, I don't know, man. And Loren does that probably because she used to work for TMZ. And I'm sure she has a lot of those old contacts from TMZ. So, and I could be wrong, when she's talking about sources that she has, those sources probably are coming from old coworkers and connects at TMZ, and she getting them from them. It could be that. I could be wrong, but she could be having them sources lined up from her previous gig where she worked at TMZ, where they got connections to all different type of stories and stuff. Think about it. TMZ be having video footage of stuff months before stuff go down. They had the video footage of Cassie. They had the video footage of Ray Rice in the elevator. They had the video footage, I think, of Solange and Beyonce and Jay-Z and them in the elevator. They have all type of footage before months and months, probably a year before the story comes out. So these stories, she probably connected to these stories in a much deeper way than Jess could ever be, than Angela Yee could have ever been, because of those connections that she has. And I'm not saying Angela didn't have connections, because Angela had been around in the industry, working around. I remember watching Angela on Lip when she had her show Lip Service on Shade 4-5 when they was doing the night vision goggles interviews. I remember because I was a media junkie. I've been in these YouTube streets, not as a YouTuber, not as a vlogger, but I've been watching YouTube content since I was yay high. So well, I wasn't that short, but since, you know, at the time, I'm short, but I'm not, I'm 5'9.5", but you know what I mean? I've been 5'9.5" since I probably was like in 8th grade. You feel me? So yeah, but I've been watching YouTube content for years. So, you know, I remember Angela being around, but she may not, Angela being around and connected, but Loren might be more connected than Angela with them TMZ connects, and she might have deeper connections to stories than Jess could ever have. So I think it's unfair to be like, oh, Jess don't never dive this deep. She don't call this person and that person. That's really not her job. That's just something that people want her to do. And y'all want her to do it because you've seen Loren doing that. I don't think people was even asking for her to dive deeper before Loren came around. Now, some people was like, yo, she could, I want her to be able to be more educated and this, that, and the third. And I hear y'all, but again, just don't have, people like, I want her to be more articulate in certain delivery of certain things. And I hear y'all, but again, just don't have that media training. She's not a journalist. She doesn't have journalistic training. She's not a journalist. You feel me? She's not a journalist. She wasn't hired to be a journalist. She's a comedian. She's hired to be engaging and entertaining. And that is what she is. Jess isn't bad at all. She's solid. She's solid. But again, I just don't like y'all. It's every day the same stuff. I be getting so tired of seeing them comments. And again, because I know how them women probably could feel. And they probably feel bad about it. They probably talking behind the scenes. And it would put Loren in a space to have to reach out to Jess and have to have them uncomfortable conversations like, yo, I just want you to know, because then you got to acknowledge that the comments are being seen. Then she got to say, you know, I want you to know I'm not trying to come take your job. You know, I'm rooting for you. I'm vying for you. You know, I want you to do your thing. I know you just had your baby. She probably have to have these conversations with Jess. You feel me? And Jess is probably, you don't know how she's internalizing these things after having a baby. And again, I speak from experience. You feel me? I got 2 children. You know what I mean? So, and I've seen how my son's mother was different after having our son and how she responded to things differently at times. You know what I mean? It took her a while to get back in her regular groove of her normal self. She went through a lot of different changes, a lot of different feelings and all those type of things, emotions after having our son. Again, due to just hormonal change and all of that. So ain't no telling how Jess is taking all of this stuff. You feel me? And again, God forbid something happen or they get into it with each other, then the world gonna act like, oh man, Jesus, I didn't think it should have went that far. And I feel like sometimes, you know, when you do these things, you got to think about how stuff can play out, man, and how the negative of how can these people can butt heads, or or could be worse. They probably couldn't butt heads, but you don't know what Jess is feeling or how she could be taking all of this in. You know what I mean? And I think people need to be more understanding and be more empathetic towards her and the situation of her just coming off of having a baby, all of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I think people are not. And honestly, I'm seeing women trash Jess. And I'm looking like women and mothers. I'm like, y'all know how it is, how I'm coming off of a baby and all of that, man, how they could affect that woman. You know what I mean? And again, Jess was not hired for a journalistic back because of her journalistic background and stuff. So it's apples and oranges comparing them in their backgrounds and what they were trained in. Yes, Jess should be a great orator. She should be a great, be able to speak and all of that and deliver the story, which she's doing, right? But diving deeper and reaching out to that source and reaching out to this source that's connected to that source, she ain't gonna do that because that's not really what she was hired for, nor does she probably have those connections. She got connections in the comedy world, not in, knowing Jada Waiter's cousin and some Jada Waiter's assistant or Amber Rose's stylist or the publicist for Young Thug, or she don't got them connections. Somebody at TMZ could possibly have them connections because TMZ, them people be reaching out to TMZ for good press. You feel me? Or when things go wrong to try to fix certain stuff and try to what's the word I'm looking for? To do damage control. And Loren, Lorosa used to work for TMZ, just did not. You feel me? But I just think it's unfair to just how people are handling this situation. You know what I mean? I think we should learn better. And I know this situation is apples and oranges. When we saw Chadwick Boseman post that picture and he looked sick, and the way people was making all them jokes, and then when something happened, oh my God, ooh, right? Actually, Jess even spoke about that. I think people should I think people should take notes and be like, yo, we shouldn't, because this is a situation where it's not just criticizing somebody. You're campaigning for somebody to lose their job and for another person to replace them. I'm all for y'all campaigning for Loren to be added to the team. That's all fine and dandy, no problem. But to campaign for Jess to be fired and for Loren to replace her, that is wild to me. And I can never be rocking with that. I just think that's just distasteful. That's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, Machiavelli Mills TV. We out, y'all. Peace.